Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you're new around here, my name is Hanna Mai, and today's video is going to be my Instagram followers control my makeup for the day. So I put up some polls a couple of days ago now on my Instagram story, and I had you guys basically vote on multiple aspects of my makeup. So today I'm just going to be sitting down and doing that makeup look that you guys have created. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up to let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. And I will have my Instagram up on the screen and in the description if you would like to follow me over there to get involved in future videos like this. And finally, be sure to let me know at the end of the video in the comments how you think the final look turned out and how you think my Instagram followers did. And now, without further ado, let's get on into the video. Okay, so the first poll that I gave you guys was primer, and so I gave you guys the choice between the MAC Strobe Cream or the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I have the results on my phone. The MAC Strobe Cream got 71% of the votes, whereas the e.l.f. Poreless Putty only got 29%. So I'm going to be using the MAC Strobe Cream. This is in the shade Pink Light, and I'm just going to pop some of that on as my primer. Not sure if that's a bit much. Just blend that in. 1, 2, 3, okay, primer done. So next is foundation. Now I only have one foundation, so I couldn't let you guys vote on this one. So since this is technically not part of the challenge, I'm just going to time lapse it, and then I will be back to do the rest of the polls. But in case anyone is interested, I'm just using the number 7 Essentially Natural Foundation. This is in the shade Calico, and yeah, I'm just going to pop that on. I'm just going to time lapse it, and then I'll be back for the rest of the polls. Okay, so my foundation is now done. So now moving on to the next poll, which is concealer. So I only have one concealer. So I basically just gave you guys the option as to whether I put concealer on with my foundation or not. And 86% of you guys said yes to concealer as well as foundation, to only 14% saying no. So I am going to pop on some concealer just under my eyes, around and on my nose, and anywhere where I feel like I need it. So I'm just going to be taking the Rimmel Lasting Radiance Concealer. This is in the shade Ivory, and I'm just going to pop some of that on. And then I'm just going to take this So Eco sponge, and I'm just going to blend that out. I'll have as many products and brushes and sponges and stuff linked in the description as I can. Okay, concealer is now done. So the next poll that I gave you guys the option of was powder. And again, since I only have one powder, I gave you guys the option as to whether I wear powder or not. And For some reason, when I went to film this video yesterday and when I was screenshotting the polls, I couldn't find this pearl. But I know the last time I looked at it, before it mysteriously disappeared, I know that it was 100% to wearing powder. So I'm going to be taking the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. This is in the shade Transparent. And I'm just going to, where's my brush? And I'm just going to be taking my Real Techniques powder brush and just applying that all over my face and down my neck. I forgot to mention the brush I use for my foundation as well. In case anyone's interested, like I said, I'll have them linked below, but it was just this Brushworks foundation brush. But yeah, anyway, back to powder. So I'm just going to take my Real Techniques powder brush and pop that all over my face and down my neck to set my foundation and concealer. I'm really confused as to what happened to the poll, honestly. I don't know if like I've accidentally skipped it and then deleted it, but like I don't even remember seeing it on my story, which is kind of weird. I know I posted it, because like I said, I remember checking the results and it being 100% to powder. So who knows? Oh wow. What can you do about it? I'm honestly really excited to see how this look turns out. Especially for the eye makeup. I'm really excited to see like what kind of eye makeup look you guys have like collectively created. Because I feel like that's what's so fun about videos like this, is you don't really know how the look's gonna turn out until it's done. Okay, so now as always, to finish off my powder, I'm just going to take my Real Techniques blush brush and I'm just going to use that to powder more so around my eyes. Okay, powder is now done and the next pull was bronzer. So again, I only have one bronzer. I feel like I'm realizing how many items I only have one of, which I guess shows you that I really like the products I do have. But yeah, so since I only have one bronzer, I basically gave you guys the option as to whether I put bronzer on or not. And 100% of you guys said yes to bronzer. So I'm just going to be using my go-to Benefit Hoola bronzer. And I'm just going to be popping that in like the hollows of my cheeks and kind of around to my temple and slightly onto my forehead. I honestly find bronzer the hardest thing to explain. But yeah, I'm just going to be popping that on with my Real Techniques multitask brush. I'm really glad you guys voted for bronzer. Because honestly, I don't wear my makeup now without bronzer like ever, so I guess it would have been intriguing to see how it looked without. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my Real Techniques powder brush to just take a little bit along my jawline and kind of like down my neck. Okay, bronzer done. So next up is blush, and I gave you guys the option between liquid blush and powder blush, and 75% of you voted for liquid blush over 25% to powder. Now, I will admit this makes me really nervous. I am not good at liquid blush. When filming this yesterday, before the lighting got too bad and I had to refilm, when filming this yesterday, I tried this with a sponge and it did not look good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to just trying like blending out with my hand today and we'll see. So the liquid blush I'm gonna be using is just this Revolution X Roxi liquid blush. This is the lighter shade from the liquid blush duo. I can't remember the name of it, but I do have a review up on the Revolution X Roxi collection if you're interested in seeing that. I will have it linked in the iCard in the description. But yeah, so I'm just going to pop a bit of this on the back of my hand and then try and blend it out with my hand, like onto my cheek. I am so nervous, honestly. I don't know whether to go in with a sponge and just give a sponge a second try or not. I don't know. I'm honestly like really nervous. This is the most nervous I've been this whole challenge. I think I'm just going to go in with my hand. It's not gone absolutely horrific, but it definitely hasn't gone the best. Oh my goodness. That feels like really heavy. I need to get better at this. Honestly, I feel like I'm just so bad at liquid blush. Like, look at that. I just feel like I'm so bad at it. Right, let's see if we can redeem it on the other side. I just find, like, even with my hands or with a sponge, like, no matter how I do it, for some reason I just find it really hard to blend. Okay, it's still not the best, but that side has definitely gone better. I'm going to pop a little bit of powder over it, I think, just to try and kind of tame it a little bit. This is the part of this look I was honestly dreading the most when I saw the pearls. Okay, that's better. That's toned it down a bit. I feel like that looks a bit better. Okay, blush done. So next up is highlighter. And so I gave you guys the option of liquid or powder highlighter. And the results were literally 50-50. So since it's 50-50, I'm going to have Siri decide, I think. So I'm going to have Siri essentially flip a coin, as I don't have a physical coin on me right now. And we're going to say heads is liquid highlighter. Tails is powder highlighter. So let's do that. Heads or tails? Tails. Okay, so it is powder highlighter. So I then also gave you guys the option between two powder highlighters. So I gave you guys the choice between the e.l.f. Metallic Flare Highlighter and this I Heart Revolution Duchess highlighter from the Aristocats range. And if I just find the poll for that, as I just locked my phone and I shouldn't have. And 83% of you guys voted for the e.l.f. highlighter compared to only 17% for the Revolution. So I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Metallic Flare highlighter. This is in the shade White Gold. And I'm going to just be using that to highlight my cheekbones and my nose. So to highlight my cheekbones, I'm just using the Kylie Cosmetics Large Angled Blending Brush. And I'm just going to use the tip of the brush to highlight. I've lost my mirror. I do have a highlighter tutorial up on my channel. I'll link it in the iCard and the description if that's something you'll be interested in. Okay, I actually feel like the blush doesn't look terrible. But I still need to work on it. And then to highlight down like the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose, I'm just taking the Spectrum A10 Small Fan Brush. Okay, so that is my highlighter done. Next up is the eye makeup. I feel like this is like the most fun part because obviously I gave you guys the option of so many different shades. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the eye makeup turns out. So the first poll I gave you guys for the eye makeup was like an outer corner and crease shade. So I basically gave you guys the option of a bunch of different like matte shades from the Revolution X Roxi palette. I then also gave you guys the option of this Kiko eyeshadow, as well as this MAC eyeshadow. So I feel like I gave you guys quite a few options for the like outer corner and crease shade. And the shade that got the most votes is this shade in the Revolution X Roxi palette right here, which is called Raspberry. It's just kind of like a darkish purple pink matte, I guess. I'm really bad at explaining shades. Let me swatch it for you guys. So that's what it looks like swatched. It's just kind of like a darkish pink with, I guess, kind of like a plummy purple tone. I don't know. I'm still really bad at describing it. And I'm going to be taking my Revolution Fluffy Blending Brush and I'm just going to be popping this on my outer corner and my crease. I feel like I haven't really used this shade much in this palette, so I guess this video is a nice opportunity to try a different shade. I feel like I've used it a couple of times, but it's not a go-to. But who knows, this eye makeup might become my new go-to. I must say it blends beautifully though. Like when blending it out, it definitely doesn't look as dark as it is in the pan. Like it blends out quite subtle, honestly. Which I really like, because I feel like that way you can either, you can have it kind of like subtle, or you can, I guess, like deepen it up a little bit. I really love shades where they don't just start like super, super, super pigmented and dark. And you can kind of like blend them, I guess, to how you want them. Okay, so I feel like that's the best I'm gonna get. This is just what that shade looks like. It's definitely not as dark as it appears in the pan, which I really like. I feel like if you kept going a bit more, you could get it that dark, but I really like it as is. So then I gave you guys the option of like what shimmer shade I should put on like the rest of my lid. And so I basically gave you guys the option between all of the shimmer shades in the Revolution X Roxi palette, as well as this one lighter matte shade. And then I also gave you guys the option of the MAC Expensive Pink eyeshadow. And this shade right here from the Revolution X Roxi palette ended up winning, which is the shade Dazzle, which, as you may be able to tell, is my go-to shade in this palette, my go-to shimmer. So I'm just going to pop that on with my finger on the rest of my lid. Like I said, this is my go-to shimmer shade, so I think it's really cool that you guys ended up picking my go-to. And I feel like it goes nicely with this other shade. Okay, so now that I've applied that, I'm just going to go back in with Raspberry, just to kind of blend out the edges, soften the edges of the shimmer. Okay, so that is the eyeshadow done. So this is just what it looks like. Hopefully you guys can see that well enough. I absolutely love that. Like, I actually feel like I would start wearing this look. I absolutely love it. I think it looks really, really nice, and the shades go really well together. So the next makeup decision I gave you guys was liner. So I gave you guys the option between this blue Rimmel liner that I don't think I've ever used, this Pixie black eyeliner, or the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Brune. This is what I've been using the most for eyeliner recently, just as like a softer liner look. And so I actually put up 2 polls for liner. The first one simply just asking you guys if I should wear liner or not, and 100% of you guys voted yes for wearing liner. And then when I asked which liner of the 3 I should use, 100% of you guys voted for the black Pixie liner. So that is what I'm going to be using. This is just what it looks like. I have used this a few times and I really like how it goes on. But like I said, I've been using eyeshadow kind of as eyeliner recently for a softer look. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, the first eye has gone pretty well. So now let's see if we can replicate that on this side. Okay, that actually went really well. So, liner is done. I am very happy with how that turned out, and honestly, I really like it with this look. Maybe I should start wearing regular liner again. So the next decision for my makeup look today that I asked you guys about was brows. So I basically asked you guys if I should do my brows, and 100% of you voted yes to brows. So I'm just taking the MAC brow set, and I'm just going to be popping this through my brows. Okay, so next up is mascara. I didn't do a poll for this as I only have one mascara. So I'm just going to be taking the Maybelline Colossal Mascara and just popping this on my top and bottom lashes. So I'll probably just time-lapse this, as obviously there was no poll for it, so it's technically not part of the challenge. Okay, lashes done. That's just what it looks like. So I forgot to put up a poll for inner corner highlight on my eyes. So I'm just going to simply take the highlight that I used earlier that you guys voted on. So I'm just going to go back in with the e.l.f. Metallic Flare Highlighter, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on like the inner corner tear duct area of my eye, just to highlight my inner corner. Okay, and then I forgot to put up a poll for like brow highlight, but I am just going to go in with this shade from the Revolution X Roxi palette, which is Vanilla, kind of as like a matte brow highlight and just to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow. More so to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow. I wasn't going to do this, but I feel like it could use a little bit of cleaning up on the edges and like softening. Okay, so we are nearly done with this look. So the next poll was lips. So I gave you guys quite a few options for the lips. The first option I gave you guys was the Revolution X Roxi lip kit. I then gave you guys the option of the MAC Chili lipstick, as I've really been loving a red lip lately. And then the next option was this Pixie lipstick in the shade Really Rose. And then the final option was just this MAC Clear Lip Gloss. So the votes kind of varied a fair bit for this poll. The Roxi lip kit got 14% of the votes. The Chili lipstick got 29%. The Pixie lipstick got 57%. And the MAC lip gloss got 0%. So since most of you voted for the Pixie lipstick, that is what I'm going to be using today. So this is just what that looks like. I love the applicator of this lipstick. I feel like it gets like the shape of my lips, particularly like the upper lip. I feel like it gets the shape really, really well. And if I swatch it for you guys, that is just what that looks like. I feel like it's kind of like a deep nude, purpley kind of shade. I don't know, I'm honestly terrible at describing shades, so I'm just gonna pop this on. Like I said, I love the applicator of this. Even on my bottom lip, I feel like I can like slightly line my lip with the pointed tip of the applicator. And it just like glides on so smoothly. I absolutely love it. Okay, lipstick is done. That's just what it looks like. And honestly, it goes so well with this look. So far, I'm completely obsessed with this look and like the look that you guys have created. I'm so obsessed. It's honestly turning out so well. So we are now on to the final poll. The final poll was setting spray. So I just asked you guys if I should put setting spray on or not. And 100% of you guys voted yes for setting spray. So I'm just going to be taking the Revolution Hydrate and Fix setting spray. And I'm just going to spritz this all over my face. feel like I use a lot of that. And then I'm just gonna dry it down a little bit. So now we are done. So this is the finished look that you guys, my Instagram followers watching this, created. I am absolutely obsessed. I love this eye makeup. And I actually kind of want to start wearing regular liner instead of just like eyeshadow as liner again. I feel like the blush, once I put like powder over it and got the highlight done and everything, I feel like the blush has kind of tamed and it doesn't look as bad. It's still not the best. I still prefer my powder blush, but it definitely went better than I thought. And yeah, I love the lipstick with this look. I absolutely love how this lip pairs with like the eye makeup and the rest of the look. So yeah, I am completely obsessed. So to give you guys a close-up of the makeup, this is just what it looks like. I am totally obsessed. Like, honestly, I love this look. I feel like when I put the polls up, I was a little bit worried, especially when I was giving like options as to like whether to apply bronzer or not, because I can't really imagine my makeup look without bronzer. Like, it's just not something I do. So yes, very glad that you guys voted for bronzer. And then like I say, when I saw the liquid blush had won, I got kind of worried, but like I really love the look that my Instagram followers created. It went really, really well, and I love the eye makeup. I might start wearing this eye makeup a little bit more. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up to let me know. Let me know in the comments how you think the finished look turned out. And again, I will have my Instagram up on screen and in the description if you want to follow me over there to get involved in future videos like this. If you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe right over here and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. And I also have a vlog channel you can subscribe to right here if that is something you'd be interested in. If you would like more content from myself, then you can click here for my last video, which was a get ready with me for a family meal out. Or you can click here to see the last time I did this challenge, probably a few years ago now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye guys!